Yeah. Lurch got offended earlier. I called him a twat. Like, that's a term, that's a term of endearment. And he's like, oh, I'm like, no. That's a term of endearment, mate.
Fore players presented by Barstool Sports. We are live from Scotland. First time that we've all been in Scotland together.
Sure is.
My first time
Two
ever.
of us have been here, yeah.
Yeah, Frankie's first time. You two have been here.
Yep.
It's raining.
First time I've ever crossed the Atlantic.
How do you feel?
What an experience. I feel tired.
Yeah.
Crazy that
you've
your
been to
first
Australia.
time out of the country
There you
I know
go.
was Australia. It's like nobody ever goes there.
No.
How's it feel?
The flight's actually not that bad over here.
No, it's not.
6 to 7
We
hours.
flew to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Would you say we were in Amsterdam?
No, we talked about that on the way over.
Remember we used to have that debate?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't claim that.
I can't remember. I was
I
telling
was
Frankie.
on the yeah side of
I was
the
telling
record.
Frankie I don't remember what side of the argument I was on. So that's just kind of how these things go.
Everybody's a little delirious right now.
A little, yeah.
Yeah.
Tiring, but also it's doable. It's a very doable flight to Scotland. It's an amazingly beautiful place. It's different than, when we flew into Amsterdam, that looked like one thing, and then all of a sudden you fly into Scotland, it looks like a whole nother thing. It feels like you're in the Shire or something from Lord of the Rings.
It's a lot of farmland,
crazy.
understated.
More sheep than people.
Fact.
Sheep.
More sheep than people.
Reminds me of the Midwest, honestly. We were talking on the way in, on the drive in. It looks just like everywhere that I ever
Where
grew up.
we are right now, it looks like the Midwest. Dude, the flight coming in, it's like one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's very green.
What, with the rolling
Green-
hills or what
like,
do you love?
like this, like where the water starts to get into the mix.
Audio
It's
podcast?
not very Midwest. Like, you know what I mean? Like that looked like
No, yeah, the drive
that looked like
the Midwest.
Europe. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
me, that was my
Yeah.
first ever glance of Europe, like European
Yeah.
landscape. And
Top down, I agree. It's different.
The
But once
UK?
you're like on the ground, it feels like kind of like Erin Hills, Midwest.
yeah, yes. Where we are right now, we are in Dundonald Golf Links.
Dundonald.
It's called like North. I had it on the weather app. North Ayrshire.
Good luck.
Fuck you guys. That's just what I read.
No,
on the
I
weather
think
app.
it's funny that it's
Ayrshire.
called that.
Can I get a Coca-Cola?
I don't think it's definitely not Ayrshire.
You
Yeah,
sure?
but they say everything different here, like Edinburgh.
Yeah.
You just don't know how you take a leap of faith when you are going to pronounce something, and they're just like,
Especially
all
if
right.
you're the first time of a group. Like you just went with it.
They're like, all right, Mr. American guy, we know you have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to try to fake it for us.
All right.
It was on my flight. It was like you just get the way they speak and the difference. It's so nice, like the accents. It was. She came by. I was like, "Would you like something to drink?" And I was like, "No, I'm good." And she's like, "Oh, you're all right, are you?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I am all right."
I know, you
Well,
know
in
what it
America,
is.
you almost take that like fuck off. Like I just told you I'm fine.
She just goes, "Oh, you're all right, are you?"
Every 10 minutes or so, I'm going to put just a drop of cold water on my forehead just
we
to
got
keep myself
people that
awake.
are panicking. Frankie's on the panic sheet of just tired.
Oh, I've been up for 27 hours.
Yeah.
Came
Well,
straight from a wedding.
so-
but the other thing is, I want to say what they say is, if you fancy yourselves to sit with the table of six, you can grab it right there. If you fancy yourself some waters, you can grab them. It's like, oh yeah, I do.
Trotty
fancy
should be joining us too in a short while. And
He
that
is.
Will be,
Chris
that'll be
Trotty
epic.
Trot.
Chris Trotty Trot.
We just call him Trotty.
Trotty.
Yeah, I just want to give him people his name. Give the guy
We don't have to
respect.
harp on it too much, but we're just in that stage of like we're trying to stay up now because
Chris
we're trying
Trotty
to readjust to we're trying to adjust to European Scotland time. So
We got to go about another 6-7 hours, and then we can go to sleep.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree
Like
with that.
that's if you don't do that, if you succumb too early, you get fucked and you're chasing the entire trip. So I think we got to get to about 8 o'clock tonight, and I think then you can shut it down, get a huge night's sleep, and you recover and you're ready to go. We got a lot of golf that we're playing. We got a lot that we're doing. We're going up to St. Andrews after, so we're finishing this first half of the trip here at Dundonald ish. I think that's how you say it.
North Ayrshire.
North Ayrshire. Everybody knows that area. And then we're going up to the St. Andrews area for the rest of the trip and playing some golf. So people are going to see a lot about that. Let's start. Well, we got a million things to get to, from live golf to Trevor Ullman shouting out butter knives. We got to talk about Notion first. We're going to start with our very good friends at Notion. And I want to say Notion now. It feels like it's been on the podcast for a long time. So big thanks to them for that. Notion's an all-in-one team collaboration tool. We need some team collaboration right now that combines note-taking, document sharing, wikis, project management, and much more into one space that's simple, powerful, and beautifully designed. Kind of reminds me, actually, we're here with TaylorMade. For those that don't know, and TaylorMade is like an actual real business.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of put this trip together, and they have like itineraries printed out. and just
There's physical copies
Right.
on the kitchen table.
Trent thought I brought them, and you were amazed by that.
Yeah, I was like, you were like, oh, there's physical copies of the itinerary on the table. I was like, why are you printing those out? We got them in our email, but somebody else did, and we
Got to stay
appreciate it.
organized.
Yeah, it's true.
Plus, Notion has a worldwide network of millions of users creating templates, tutorials, and new inspiration. The product is getting better all the time. You'll always have the support that you need. Learn more. Get started for free at notion.com/foreplay. That's notion.com/foreplay to help you take the first step toward an organized, happier team today. Big thanks to Notion. Again, go check out notion.com/foreplay. All right. Where would you guys like to start? There's a lot going on. We can talk about Tiger Woods. I just saw a video of him. He's at the McManus Pro-Am situation. Looks a little too cold for him. I saw him walking to the first tee. I don't know what's wrong with that man, but he is either, like, when it's hot out, I mean, he sweats bullets, and when it's a little chilly, he looks like he can't move one leg in front of the other. So
I actually haven't seen
Has
the
he
clips
been in
of.
like too much of a temperature-controlled environment?
I don't
too
know.
long? Like it's always 72 or an AC, perfect. Because it is true when it's hot.
He looks.
Yeah, I hate when he's cold.
He
I'd
looks
rather
frozen.
him be boiling than too cold.
He'd rather be boiling too, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, he looks frozen.
I hadn't seen that clip. The only clip I had seen of him recently was when he got off the helicopter,
yeah.
which I actually thought he looked pretty good. Like we talk about on this podcast a lot, like when he's not on grass, when he's not on a golf course, he's kind of lost. I thought it was one of his better outfits. It was just a hoodie and sunglasses, which I appreciated.
Think he had a better commute over here than we did?
Yeah,
So he came on a fucking helicopter. That's a good start.
Yeah, pretty good.
That's
but
a
he's
way
got to
better
adjust
start.
time. He's a human
Yeah,
being,
100%.
kind of.
Yeah,
You know, he's got to adjust just like the rest of us.
yeah,
He's done this trip a lot more than we have.
yeah.
You think he cranks an Ambien or something on there?
I think he's just got a bed he sleeps on. He's like, yeah, take me on the red-eye flight.
I think that's a loaded question. You know, who knows? I mean, I don't know if he can take any Ambiens anymore.
Maybe some.
Hold on. Riggs?
No, I was my facial expression was a reaction to Frankie.
Maybe some
I think
melatonin.
he's making a good point.
Maybe some melatonin.
I just
maybe
wanted
10
to
milligrams of
have you pause
melatonin.
on that.
That's what I take at night to sleep.
Yeah,
I-
but I think Tiger. I think to Frankie's point, Tiger's off.
I think we tossed those down the toilet.
Yeah, I think.
No,
I just wanted to see Riggs just sit on that little stool by himself. For
I'm with you on the Ambien. I think melatonin's fine. It's a natural.
Is that because you take melatonin?
What do you mean?
I'm saying, like, you think it's more like it's.
I know it's natural because the body produces it.
Here we go.
It's nice.
I don't think you want too much of it though.
No, definitely not.
I'm glad he's looking well.
Yeah, I wonder how he's playing, but
He's playing sick.
He's at that Adore Manor or whatever, however you pronounce that place.
Looks awesome.
The place is just like Augusta in Ireland.
I think that's pretty much what it is. Yeah, I want to go to Ireland next.
flew right over it.
Right over it.
Yeah,
We flew over this place on our way to Amsterdam.
we did. That's true.
It's so frustrating. I hate doing that.
You go more north than you think
It's crazy.
because of the curvature and the whole deal. You go way more north than you think. You don't go because we're so used to looking at the map as a flat map with just Australia bottom right, if you didn't know that, and the USA in top left, and it's just tough to.
It'd be funny if Australians had a map that they were center. Just center of the
I would
map
love
in
that.
the middle.
I would
Just
love that.
bottom center. That's where they are.
Yeah, do you think they're bottom right on their own map? They're basically out of the picture on their own
Can't
map.
be. You can't be bottom right. You can't be on the
No
bottom
way.
left or right on your
No,
own map.
I think their own map, they're just bottom middle. And
It's
then
a great
like,
question.
we're like way far on the east side.
You always play off yourself.
You have to.
Right, there should be Australia middle, and then it's mostly ocean,
Yeah.
and then the other countries are kind of like on the border.
You know what screwed me up as a kid was growing up in Iowa, looking at a map. We are pretty much dead center in the middle of the United States. And I was like, all right, we're the important one because we're right in the middle. So it's how you play. Everywhere you grow up, you think you are the center of the universe.
Yeah.
That's the narcissism of the human race.
Yeah. Did it? You mean it screwed you up because then you found out later it's just not that
We're just 1
important?
of 50.
Yeah.
We're 2%.
I think Lurch is trying to dig even more than that.
I was.
I think he's trying to say where he's from is the center.
No,
New Jersey.
for sure.
This is what I mean, though. We all think we're from the special place. And I
Right.
hope Australia
A
feels the
Jersey
same.
guy just almost owned your tournament, which would have been epic.
I would have loved to see Goddard win it. He's a stud. He's
Really-
thick. He's a thick boy.
It'd be cool if we could hear from him sometime.
Let's get him on the show.
There was a bunch of conversations about it. We'll get him on.
Yeah, a lot of conversations. I'd love to hear from him. Sounds like a nice guy.
He's great. Impressive game.
Hits the ball really far.
Really far.
Been in the news a lot, feels like, last couple months.
I'm so fucking tired, dude. It's crazy how tired I am.
You look.
Just my body is just. I feel like I'm on another
Drop some
planet.
more water on your forehead.
Yeah, the water droplets into the eyes.
Where'd that
is
move
an
come from?
insane
Where'd the water
strategy.
drop?
Fucking freezing water.
That's doctor certified, that move.
It's so cold.
That's the anti-melatonin.
You might got any Lynx golf thoughts coming into this
So-
deal here?
Well, we're gonna get Trotty on here.
Yeah, Trotty gave
Chris
them a
Trotty
lesson
Trot is
on
what we
the way
call
in.
him. He works for TaylorMade. Obviously, he's been in our videos before on the TaylorMade YouTube page and on their Instagram. The stuff that he does with the pros is insane.
He like fits Rory.
He fits Rory. The guy is a fucking legend in the game, and he knows a lot about this style of golf. He was getting us all jacked up and really prepared.
Trotty
for what,
from here?
No,
Where's he
He's from
England.
England.
Just outside
South
of
shore
London.
of England, I
I
think.
remember the first time I feel like we met Trotty, we were trying to
I
pinpoint
didn't know if he was
his-
like Irish or.
We
yeah,
had no idea.
I didn't really know the accent, but
He's like a little blend.
He's funny as fuck. He's
So funny.
He's
He's
got,
also got the voice to open up this trip. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
perfect voice, and then also he was giving Frankie, and I'll stop, but like he was giving you kind of an FYI on links because we've played some in many different kind of areas, and with Cabot, Bandon, and out here, you guys really haven't that much.
Well, no, and then we're playing. So we've been playing so much Northeast golf, and I've been playing probably the best golf in my last couple of years. This last week, I posted a 79. I posted an 80 the next day. I mean, I'm just hitting like fairways and greens, and I'm flagging these irons, just like legitimately just dropping them like fucking darts. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm just gonna play really well in Scotland. And Trotty's like, well, the problem is like when you're 160 yards away, like you're landing this thing 135 or 140 yards, and it's going to run. So it's a completely different game. He was basically saying, and he'll come and speak for himself, but the first time like he was really getting used to it was like, oh, like I want to just like land this thing next to the pin. Why is none of this working? And he's like, no, you fucking idiot. You have to like play with the land is what I think he said.
Mm-hmm.
You have to play and go with the land and it's the only time you really have to do that is out here. So I'm really excited for that. I don't know how it's going to translate, but hopefully my brain can accept to hit it shorter and let it run. Because I think there's going to be a lot of times where I don't trust it, which I think a lot of guys probably struggle with out here. I'm going to be like, there's no way. Would you
All
just
right, big
fart
fella?
did you just fart out your nose?
No, I tried to be quiet.
What the fuck was that?
I tried to hold it in. I think
That was
I
a
bit down
fucking-
on my left tooth, and that thing almost. I think it almost just.
down on
It
your
was one of the more
left tooth.
unnatural
nose
things.
Oh,
queef.
man, this is just.
This is a bad one podcast.
No, it's a battle, but this is we're giving you the real stuff.
The real stuff. This is grinders.
But you know what I mean? There's going to be a lot of times where I'm not going to trust it. I'm going to say, there's no
Totally.
fucking way I'm hitting a 9-iron here.
Well, Trotty
It's
started to say some
absolutely
outrageous
a
numbers
7.
that I didn't believe either. He was like, "Yeah, you can hit that 9-iron 140. It's going to go 210."
Well,
Well,
yeah.
he was talking about a specific
Out of the rough.
circumstance.
yeah, I agree. But
Okay, well,
it's all-
don't-
He was like,
can't
he-
hang him out to
dude,
dry
he was
like
saying
that.
he did. He was just recounting a story of or a moment when he was 210 yards out in the rough, and it was like a flyer line. He hit a pitching wedge, and it got there.
Right, he's
Crazy.
He was talking about if you pull it.
Yeah, you pull it.
It's
'cause
gonna
the
run.
club
It
turns
grabs your
over on it,
club,
You, hit this, like,
you pull
snap
it.
It's also
off the
just like
ball.
when, if the conditions are right, yardages just don't even matter.
Which is
like
crazy
they don't
to me.
exist.
Right.
It's like you're literally just trying to
And it's
finagle the
unfortunate.
ball up near there, and like you just
I
kind of
feel like my yardages are so dialed in right now. Like for the first time in my life. Like I'm like so like 145. I'm taking a 9-iron. I used to try and muscle a pitching wedge. Like now here it's like that's all out the window.
Yep.
So it's a whole new game.
Gone.
So I have no expectations.
you gotta exercise that creativity, that feel.
Yeah,
Frank,
we'll see. I
you
don't know. Hopefully.
You got that in there.
Yeah, you never really get it tight on links golf, but you just kind of get it closer to the hole. It's like,
You never stick it.
yeah, you never, yeah, that's just never going to happen.
Kind of
Kinda
trundle it around.
Get it to 18 feet, and like that's like a really good birdie opportunity.
The chipping will be really interesting. We were kind of messing around with it out here.
You were kind of.
I was kind of zipping them, but like that, like I don't know if that's even gonna play out on the real course. Like we have a little chipping green right here at Dundonald. By the way, this place is absolutely out of this fucking world.
It's really nice.
It's like the most modern fucking little houses with chipping greens in the middle of all the houses and I mean all the lodges. So yeah, we were kind of messing around with that, but
Yeah, Frankie and I just got lost, so we were driving back with.
we tried to
golf
open up
carts,
someone else's fucking door.
and basically they've got 5 to 7 lodges all around these little chipping putting greens. So every set of lodges has its own putting green chipping
It's an
area.
amazing place to hang
It's
out.
a pretty cool concept of how they've built accommodations at this golf course.
Yeah, I wonder how it is when like it's filled and it's all strangers. I guess everyone just becomes friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're like talking about your round.
It's like
You
summer
probably,
camp.
Yeah.
Probably a ton of gambling goes on.
Yeah.
you
It has
know?
like a summer camp feel
Mm-hmm.
with these lodges. It's
I
really
lost the
nice.
ball on the chipping green.
Did.
I just bladed one right into the fucking
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
Frankie
bushes.
Butternut, like the Immelman thing.
exactly.
You want to talk
What a
about
call
that?
out.
We should talk about that.
Trevor Immelman's probably the best person that I've ever met. He's just he's the nicest guy of all time. The fact that he actually did
He is a
that
great
is
guy.
insane.
So a couple days ago, before the John Deere Classic started, 5th major, someone had tweeted at him and said like, you should try to use Frankie butter knives during the broadcast. I don't remember the tweet exactly, but it was basically someone saying, hey, Trevor, you've got this new job. Why not, bring Frankie Borelli's name into it?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I think I'll try to work it in next week. And I thought, and I'm sure you thought as well, he's not actually going to do it because he's got this new gig. He wants to do well. He has been doing well, but he doesn't need to invoke the name of Frankie Borelli in one of his first weeks in the big chair. And then he did it.
Dude, we were just getting to the airport, about to check our bags, and Trent said, now what the hell is this or something? And I thought, oh fuck, our flight's canceled. Like, he's looking at his phone. We're in the airport. He's like pretty visibly shooken up. I'm like, what's happening? And he's like, dude, and he's trying to listen to this clip. I'm like, what the fuck? And then when we finally heard it, we both could not believe what we heard.
Let's put that audio in.
I got a buddy who struggles with that shot a lot. His name's Frankie Borelli. So the guys actually gave him a nickname of Butter Knives because he always knifes it across the green. Butter Knives.
Good.
Shout out to my man Frankie Borelli.
That's probably a lot of people.
That's an amazing audio clip to happen during a PGA Tour event. I couldn't. What?
Which event?
What was it like? What was the rating of it? A 52
event.
compared to Liv was like 125 when you do like the comparisons of strength of field. It's like the most biggest joke of a fucking tournament of all
right,
time.
Greg, take it easy.
But it's a great event now. I mean, I think I have to be a fan of it if I'm associated with it now.
Yeah.
That clip, I'm forever associated with the John Deere Classic. I think I have to give it a chance.
It's a great tournament.
Yeah.
No, but that
It
call
was a
out,
stunning clip.
Stunning.
it is. He says your name maybe 5
It
times.
was like ASMR
And then they comment,
too.
they like laugh about it together, and it's
At the end,
Yeah, when they start busting up laughing about it, like
Right, at the end, he's like, shout out
blades
to my buddy Frankie Borelli. Like, real low and whispery, and it's like you felt like you were there.
I mean,
Yep.
the other guys on the broadcast have no idea what he's talking about.
No.
Zero.
Yeah.
And they're
Crazy.
but they're laughing because it's a funny name. Butter Knives is a funny name. He blades it across the green.
It's a wild world we live in.
Yeah, Trevor Immelman, he's just a solid dude. He does the things that he says he's going to do.
Yeah, he's a good guy, man. That's crazy.
And
that he
he's
did
got
that.
a very prominent position in the golf world.
totally,
right
and he's making a name for himself in that spot. So it's pretty crazy as almost an opener to like his career in that seat.
first week.
Right, is Frankie Borelli.
His first Sunday in the booth, right?
Was it on Golf Channel or were they on CBS?
I think it was. I don't know.
I think it was Golf Channel.
before they go over to CBS or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I think it
does
was
the John
early
Deere
in-
Classic even get on CBS?
I don't think so.
It's tight. I'm not sure if it did.
Okay.
Did it?
Okay.
I honestly don't know.
not
The
as
answer.
much.
That
What time was
wasn't
our
a flight.
Our flight was at 4:30. We got to
Dude.
the airport at 12:30 or 1:30.
Yeah, he said that around 1:30 on Sunday.
That's right around where they switch over.
Yeah, I think that's a little before.
So that guy is legitimately going to be, a top 2 or 3 name in golf commentating for the next however many years.
He's
Crazy.
good too. I did watch
He's
a lot of
great.
the tournament coverage this weekend. Him and Colt were busting each other's balls all weekend. I think it's just they've got a great chemistry, that whole crew. We all knew that he was going to be great at that job, but he's just really good at it.
He's
Very
also another
professional.
guy with an accent. I mean, those accent, that's just
It
a
helps.
true golf. You trust that brand.
I agree.
Speaking of accents, can we get Trotty in here at this point? We got to light this fucking thing on fire. He's out there fucking
working on
chipping.
his putting and looking at
Oh
clubs.
my god, look at how good his swing is. Barbuda out there looking like an absolute cartoon character. I fucking love that guy.
He's great.
wearing
dude.
all black. I mean, he's been kind of like a pseudo behind the scenes character on this podcast.
Yeah.
Where we've said he's just one
Stranger.
of a kind. His outfits are always insanely
Got a big
like,
Jerry
They're
Garcia
a check me
tattoo on
out
his forearm.
always.
but he's just got fits, man. The guy's
He
fitting
loves
off on the
black and
golf
white
course.
collars.
He pushes like the edge of like what golf attire is. Like he's always wearing something different and he's always wearing something flashy, but it works. Like Barbuda always takes your breath
He's
away.
also like 6'4".
I will also,
And he's a
shout out
stick.
him.
He is.
He always has a smile on his face.
Always,
you don't
man.
really know
Bro,
what it's always tied to.
I think
but
it
he's
could
smiling.
it could be there's fires going on everything he touched that day, and you see him, he's got a big old smile.
I think he almost cried at lunch. We just went to lunch at Dundonald and it was like overlooking the whole course. First time we saw it, really. And I think he almost cried to himself. He started to laugh so hard that his eyes started to water, and he goes, "I can't wait to play fucking golf today." It was crazy.
We're also all
He goes,
chipping
he goes,
around
he
here.
goes. I'm gonna play 36 holes today. We're like, no, you're not.
Frankie was right next to him and he was chipping. What did he say, Frankie?
He's chipping around, kind of zipping these balls around. He goes, he like nipped one, and he just looks at me and goes, "God, my hands are good.
He's amazing.
God, my hands are good."
So TaylorMade's got
We'll
a
have
great
to get
staff of
Barbuda
people.
on here. All right, we're
such a
talking John
legend.
Deere Classic. We're talking live event, really whatever event you want to go to. Exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports, Game Time.
Game time.
No matter
Wimbledon's also going around. You can get tickets on there.
what. Wimbledon.
That's right.
sure.
We met the Game Time guys at Half Moon Bay. Some of the nicest people I've ever met. We
They were
actually
nice.
we thanked them for them being the product that they have. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. It's one of those partnerships that
Makes
just
your
works.
life
It's a
easier.
very usable one.
but it's like you just want to
Helps.
be like, you know what? Thanks for making things so easy to go to sporting events.
Right.
Like you guys just have made it more simple. It's literally there is no competition when it comes to last minute tickets. They've just completely dominated that field. It's as easy as it gets.
They cracked the code on how to score deals on last minute tickets. You can find MLB tickets for under $15 all in on Game Time. Yankees tickets as low as 14, Red Sox 14, Mets 13, Braves 14, Cubs 12. You name your team. St. Louis Cardinals. Game Time has the hookup on deals for you to get out to the ballpark. There's a typo right there. Luckily, I battled through that. Purchase process is so quick and easy. Great interface. It is true. Game Time's just the best. Best part, you get $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app. Go to the account tab to create a login and redeem code FORE, F-O-R-E. Helps us out. Helps you out. Helps Game Time out. So use the code FORE for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time. Last minute tickets. Lowest price. Guaranteed. A big thanks to Game Time.
Come on over here.
Trotty.
Here comes the man.
Trent, you're awake, mate.
I'm awake.
How many coffees did you sink?
I only drank the one that you made for
Sink.
me.
How many coffees did you sink?
The terms that are about to come.
might have
Oh, there's
Yeah,
Barbuda. The
off the
YouTube
chart.
people are going to see Barbuda.
Oh,
stand
there he
there.
is. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
we
there's
just
a camera around here.
we just talked about your fits. I said you push the boundaries a bit, but it always works. You're welcome.
He goes, thank you. Hey, Trotty.
Hey, boys. Nice to see you over this side of the coast.
Feel good to have us over here?
Great. I mean, I'm going to be seeing you a lot in these clothes, I hear.
Yeah, this is all I got.
Have you
yeah,
talked about
that
that on this
stinks.
podcast?
no,
yet?
not yet.
Your clubs and your clothes did not show up.
My
What
only
you
my
brought
two
showed up.
bags, neither one came thus far. Our only hope is that there's a flight that's supposed to be coming in an hour that they're on there, but the latest notification just has a red X and says we're unable to locate your bag.
Dude,
Brutal.
I went through that United thing on this very podcast. We talked about it. Those things thought they were close to me, then they were just gone forever.
But on this trip, our bags, everybody, producers, everybody, 100%. We all got
Now-
our bags.
well,
Keep them.
on our flights.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
on
that's
this
what I
trip.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind that I had 3 flights, so they could be anywhere. I flew from St. Louis to Philly, Philly to London, London to Glasgow.
Just get a notification.
Some-
Your bag just landed in Tasmania.
Some bag tagger in like St. Louis is just swinging some P770s right now. Just like, oh, these feel pretty good.
So it's airlines nil, but Scotland. You got what's first impressions, boys? You got to be happy, no?
Beauty.
I mean, staying awake, good. Coffee's okay. We didn't expect that. We discussed that in the bus. We didn't expect that.
What didn't you expect?
Well, we both said I pre-warned you. Like coffee's an issue here.
Oh yeah, because we were talking. We had a great conversation on the ride here about a lot of things, but coffee was one of them. Where I was saying that when we went to Australia, I couldn't find any of the coffee that I wanted. I wanted iced coffee, and for whatever reason, they don't know what that is over there. And then you were saying that the coffee here isn't that great, but the one you made me was fantastic.
But it wasn't iced. Iced was the issue because Lurch
Yeah.
was saying, "Hey, let's fridge this thing," and we were panicking. Like iced, isn't it? The place is so damn
Yeah,
cold.
they don't
that
accept. I
iced
was like,
is
hey,
not a thing.
if you get into a spot, you could make coffee that night, put it in the fridge, be ready to go in the morning for your iced coffee.
Iced is my number one, but if I mean, I'll drink any coffee. Whatever I need to get into my system, I'll drink it.
So Trotty Golf on Instagram. If you are asked elevator pitch what exactly you do for TaylorMade, what do you tell people?
Master of puppets, occasional club whisperer.
That sounds like a Game of Thrones character. That was
No,
awesome.
basically, look, we were chatting
Tell me
about
that's
it.
your official
Brief,
title.
yeah. There's no brief official. Well, brief official is sports marketing director, but I feel like that's kind of old now. I worked out on the tour for 15 years for TaylorMade, mega, traveled a lot, did all that. And now I get to do like a lot of content stuff, see you boys, which is brilliant, hang out in Scotland, which is mega, see Mike, who's knocking back his 5th beer already since we've been here, just to stay away. Different approach to the jet lag than my man Trent, but he's going for it. But the bottom line is that he's pissed at that. He doesn't want people to know. Mike's a behind-the-scenes kind of guy. But the bottom line is now just a lot of content for TaylorMade. I think I have a good accent, a nice accent, so people like it.
We were just talking about that.
That's it.
Goes a long way.
Exactly.
So
Huge
you're
asset.
aware of that. You're aware that, like, obviously you're a great guy, you got a great personality, but the accent is like a little cherry on top.
Trustworthy tone.
I think trustworthy tone is a good one. I mean, I'm playing it down a bit. I feel like club fitting is where I've spent 15 years. You can't bullshit. We can say that, right? I assume. You can't bullshit talk.
Do you love fitting clubs?
Yeah, I do actually like it a lot. Yeah, do to be
You
fair.
just love like the. So I'm always amazed, and every time we go to the Kingdom, TaylorMade Kingdom, we come back and we do a podcast, we do a show, we talk about how fucking amazing it is that somebody will just tweak something, you don't change your swing at all, and the ball flight dramatically shifts and changes and becomes optimized. That I guess I could see as somebody who does what you do, how that's pretty instantly rewarding for you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you put it in priority, first things first, I love golf. And I absolutely do. And I've been around it forever. I love where it's going. And with that, I mean you guys. I was at an event with TaylorMade last week, Kith in New York. I love that scene.
Yep.
I was playing, without name dropping, but Sunningdale the last few days, and I like that scene. Very British, very different. I just love every direction it's going in. So that's point number one. Then I love people coming to the game and playing. I started as a kid when everyone around me was a fossil telling me, you can do that, you can't do that, stand there, don't do this. Then you start beating them, and then it's even worse. Well, you definitely can't do that now, blah, blah, blah. And then I didn't grow past the age of 13, which we discussed in the boss as well, and you start bombing it past all these old boys, and they hate it. Then as time goes on, you get on the tour and you learn more about golf clubs. And I became a qualified golf coach as well, so I like that side of it. So yes, in answer to your question, I love seeing a person get better just from the golf clubs. TaylorMade is amazing at building golf clubs. I genuinely think that as well.
Yeah.
It really is. And I like getting in there and helping people. And if someone's got some ability in helping them, then for sure. I mean, weird little conversation just out on the chipping green there. I watched some of the stuff, and I think this break 90 thing should be pretty easy to do. I've seen him hit balls. I think it's a strategy conversation. I see you're laughing out the corner of your eye. But I think from what I've seen, I don't see it shouldn't be difficult. Shouldn't be difficult.
No,
Don't listen
You
to
got
words.
something you want to say?
No,
Big man?
No. So I think Trotty believes in you more than you currently believe in yourself to break 90.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
Totally. I think
It
your
is.
confidence, that's why I smile and laugh, because you're like, I think this should be pretty easy. I think if you were to, get Trent naked right here and he were to give you his full, yeah, exactly. Take your shirt off, pop it off.
No.
I don't know if you'd feel that same sentiment.
Well, he said something interesting because when we were having that conversation out there, I immediately said, I know the putting.
We
And
were
he's like,
sharing a coffee, weren't we? That's what
we were sharing
doing.
a
It was
coffee.
moment.
That you made for
Little
me. It
caramel
was
sticks,
an absolute
too.
delight. But I was saying, as soon as I barely let him finish his sentence, and I said, it's the putting, I know. And he's like, no, it's strategy. Like, you just got to figure out better ways to get around the golf course. And yeah, the putting needs to improve, but overall, if I can just figure out the strategy part of it, which my God, John Tillery would absolutely agree with, then the breaking 90 thing is going to be easier. And you said that when I figure out the putting, then we're going to start breaking 80 and we're going to really get down there.
But the other thing is, going back to the original question, when it comes to club fitting, when it comes to all the different hosels you can get on the Spider GT and stuff, we can talk about that, and you can get an understanding of that. Then I can, because I'm a qualified coach here, can do a couple of drills I think that could help you just out there. Putting, I mean, I'm not a great putter, but that's me telling me. Other people watch me, I'm an amazing putter. So it does come back to that, which then tied into this lad hitting chip shots around us. I can hear the bounce getting leveraged, and I'm like, this is all bullshit. How can he be a crap chipper? I'm watching. Granted, then there started being a few ankle rapers coming out there and stuff like that. But I was like, lads, watch your teeth. But at this point, I was like, there's nothing wrong with this.
Well, we're doing a series called Fixing Frankie, and one of the biggest things was a process and figuring out how to get the confidence to just do what I know I could do. I know it's in there somewhere. I have the ability to hit a ball fucking 5 yards onto a green, and it's fine. Like, I know that there is a way that I can do that. It was always about unlocking the ability to do that and have the confidence. And
Frankie,
honestly,
I'm curious about the things in like your life that you think you do really well or the best. Do you have like a process? Do you have like a go-to? Like when you were cranking out pizza reviews, you would do that every fucking day.
Do it all the same way. Every
That's what I
one.
could see.
Yeah.
And then you
100%.
come up to a chip, and it's like, why would you not approach everyone with
When I play the
full...
drums, I do the same fills. Like
Yeah.
I start out with the same. Like,
See, that's really
warm-ups.
interesting
I always
to
do
think
the same
about.
thing. Yeah.
It's really interesting to think about like what you do naturally, like things that you do well naturally. You actually do a process without even thinking about how you do a process.
Yeah, so
like we all do.
The funny thing about that is I think a process got me into just being able to do all that stuff like just without even thinking.
Right.
And now I need to get chipping to that same level. You know what I mean? Like where you just do it. You don't think about it
But
as
that's
much.
difficult to do. And do
Right.
not think that we all as golfers, people listening, people watching, we label things. Like, or you already said to me on this trip, we've not even played golf together. I'm not a good putter.
Right.
We're talking already about your chipping. Everything gets labeled. And I think we just feed it. Like, I think I'm a good driver of the golf ball. So I usually drive it pretty good. I don't think I'm a great putter. I've labeled myself as a bad putter.
And now when you've got a big putt, you've already entered the whole trip thinking a little bit like, oh, this is one of the things I struggle with.
Which then comes back to process. So I think there's a lot to learn on it. And I think when you come to the kingdom, you know, back to that, you get fit, you get the golfer. If the fitter can get the guy to chill or girl to chill out, you get the best of them, and then you go from there.
What's something that we Americans say that drives you crazy, the way we pronounce words? You just said process. It sounds so much better than what I said.
No, nothing drives me crazy.
Yes,
I mean,
it
I live
does.
in America.
It
I love
drives you
America. It's the
crazy.
4th of July today. I mean, God bless
is
America,
the 4th
you
of
know
July.
what I mean?
It's a victory lap.
Does not feel like it.
It doesn't drive me crazy. Obviously,
It doesn't.
I'll tell you a bit of an issue when you walk into like a store or something and say you need to find something, or when you initially get to the States and you're talking to Siri and Siri doesn't understand you, so you have to change it up. You have to put on a US accent to have a chance. That initially pissed me off. But then you weigh what pisses you off in the UK. I mean, look, if that's the only thing that pisses me off in
sounds
America,
pretty
it's
small.
a pretty short list.
Dude, I love
know what I
you.
mean?
I love the image of you in your car in like a fight with Siri because Siri can't understand what the fuck
No.
you're trying to say.
And then I'm asking it to do, and I'm putting on the accent. Hey, Siri, man. Come on, buddy. And then I try different regions and
Siri, what's the process? I'm sorry, what's the
process.
process?
Give me some tomato. Yeah, I want coffee. I mean, come on. Just give me a coffee. And where do I get tomatoes from?
Oh, that's so good.
But my accent's changing. I mean, I'm calling people here in the UK. I'm going, hey guys, and my kids are running around. I'm like, guys, and people are looking at me like, who's this dick? Who is this dick? Like,
Well, what would you say
Did
here?
some great
no
lines.
one really says
Call them a
guys
cow.
over here. You know, I'm not throwing holy cows at it, but
Mates?
mates is completely English. That's
Lads?
fine. Lads is English. Fellas is English.
Fellas, I
Buddy
like.
is American. So if I'm like, oh, thanks, buddy. Thanks, pal. That's American.
Well,
And
some people in America find that offensive. Like if you're
Really?
like,
Buddy.
If you call
you
somebody
pal
buddy,
somebody-
Condescending.
if you say it the wrong way, you
The
might get
tone, the
punched in face.
tonality's big
oh,
on buddy.
like
or
all right, pal. Whoa.
yeah. Lurch got offended earlier. I called him a twat. Like, that's a term, that's a term of endearment. And he's like, oh, I'm like, no. That's a term of endearment, mate.
Well, it was right after we were talking about travel stories and just how horrible it can be sometimes before we even figured out, about your situation right now. But you had some lines just like called somebody a cow. That can't be endearing.
I called someone a cow.
I think you.
I think it would have been a lot more harsh than that, but I'm not repeating it.
But you also get away-
It's probably what I said and you
You also,
misheard.
you guys can get away with it with the accent.
Definitely.
Because like he said, you have a very like trusting tone or
I
trusting
guess.
tone.
Nobody in
and-
this room will think twat is I love you, buddy.
No, but if he called somebody a cow, I think it comes off a lot differently than if we do. Like
yeah.
he almost is kind of funny and playful.
I didn't say cow, though.
Well, if you
Yeah,
did.
it probably was like a different word that we just couldn't even
That we're
fucking
not
understand.
saying on here. But it's
I
still
will
a term of
say the
endearment.
driver, Craig,
Craig.
I couldn't. Yeah,
There's another one.
There's
Craig
another
or
one.
Craig?
Craig.
Craig.
And then we did the pre-production for this trip, and one of the boys is like Glasgow.
Yeah, I don't know how to
Glasgow.
say. What, hit me
Glasgow.
with the St. Andrews.
What do you mean, St. Andrews?
Oh, there you don't say it like that. No way.
I say St. Andrews. What do you say, St.
See,
Andrews?
you still
St.
kind of
Andrews.
like blend it.
What's so it's Glasgow,
Glasgow, yeah.
Glasgow,
Yeah.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Yeah.
So you think they
Oh,
play?
hold on. What town are we in right now?
I don't even know. Where
North-
are they? Irvine.
No.
Oh, here
North-
Irvine.
I'll let you
No,
say
just,
it.
just let him read it.
So we're at, North Ayrshire.
I said North Ayrshire.
Ayrshire. He said.
He was way off. Sling Television. We all cut the cord here, right? boys?
Yep.
Sure do.
Cord
Girls?
cutters.
See you later, Cord. Sling lets you stream on demand movies, live TV shows, and live sports instantly on your favorite devices. What you want, when you want it, and where you want it. With Sling TV, you get to choose the television option that's right for you. I love watching Sling. I'm on the go a lot. We talk about traveling a lot on this show.
We're travelers. This bunch is travelers.
Yeah, this is a travel.
We are travelers, and it is
True.
amazing.
25 flights in 2022 for me.
How many?
Just the 25.
Ooh, I'm at 51 already.
How's that possible? That's
Dude,
insane.
I might be, I mean,
25 in 6 months is a lot.
Are those just your Delta flights?
That's just Delta,
Yeah.
so maybe it's like 30. It's probably closer to 30. 55 is a lot.
I got 108 nights on
Well,
the
you're
road
pathetic
already.
when it comes to the traveling. That's insane. You need to have like you need to have a spine. You're traveling around way too much. It's fucking crazy.
But
Point
Sling
eight.
TV,
108
I will
is,
say,
108 is inhumane.
Yeah, but that's just nights
how
on the
many is that a
road.
month?
That's not
that's
flights.
nights on the road.
I bet I'm at least that high.
No.
Wait, nights on the road?
100 nights in a hotel. 108
Oh,
nights
fuck
in
yeah.
a
Okay,
hotel
that's
room.
different than flights. I thought
Totally.
you were
Yeah,
108
totally.
flights. I think he has you on flights. I think Riggs has you on flights.
No.
Let's have a dick measuring contest about.
All right, let's talk
flights.
about Sling first because
Right now,
need
you can
Sling
get
on
all
the road.
Right now, you get everything that you would like. Golf Channel's on there. That's what we like. We like Golf Channel for half the price during the first month. So less than $18, which is lower than any other streaming service right now. Whether you're whatever you're into, Sling is where you can find all the TV and sports you love all in one place. We even have our own channel on Sling, the Barstool
amazing.
Sports channel. It's incredible. Go to sling.com/barstool to sign up now and try it for half the price during your first month. That's sling.com/barstool. Sign up now, half the price first month. With the travel issues, I actually don't mind the losing the baggage that much because I actually find it amazing that they're able to get bags to places. Like when a plane comes in and then they've got hundreds of people on the plane all going to different places, different connections, they're able to get back. I actually find that amazing. So losing the bags, I understand. It's customer service that drives me crazy. Like when they're just assholes to you and they just won't give you answers and then they just shush you aside.
And are you dealing with someone in the UK now for customer service or someone in the US? Because they're two completely different.
Totally agree. Here, no, the person here, I mean, it's like you don't have bags, you don't have bags. What can you do? There's really no like conversation about it. People like with certain airlines in the US at times, I think that's when people lose their minds traveling is when they just refuse to help you and treat you like shit and you can't get a fucking answer to save your life and they don't try to help you and they put you in a position, eventually they corner you in a position where you have no power whatsoever and you know it and you're just like
Also, they make it 100% your problem sometimes.
Correct.
Where it's like, this should be mutual. We should be in this thing together of like, you want to find my bag, I want to find my bag. Let's think about how we can find this bag
and it's
faster.
one-sided. It's
like,
they almost go like,
what
you know
sh-
what? This seems like a you issue, buddy.
It's like-
I'm doing fine today. And you're like, whoa. I mean, at one point, like I had an issue with Delta over the weekend. At one point, they sent me across the aisle to go like rebook my ticket with the Delta at the Delta help desk. Okay, it literally says Delta help desk. And I go over there and I go through the whole thing and I'm like, all right, so I got to ask you a question because I got here 5 minutes early. Plane was gone. They said they waited. They didn't. I'm looking at the thing with that. And she goes, sir, you get it? You're going to have to speak to Delta. And I go,
It's you.
it says Delta on your chest and on your lanyard like 11 times. I'm looking at Delta. And then she's like, sir, please don't speak to me that way. You have to take it up with Delta. And I'm like, it says Delta on, like, what are we
Is this like
doing?
a who's on first thing? What do you got going on here? Like, this is Delta.
The person next to me was laughing out loud. I walked away and they were like, that was one of the craziest conversations I've
It's like,
heard.
so
Like-
tell me, who are you? If you're not Delta, who are you?
And then eventually she's like I said, please take it up with Delta. And I just was like, all right. I'll take it. And it was over. It was like,
where is Delta?
And then I had 5 hours. I had to just sit at the airport and wait.
That's one of those
because
things too, where like
I had to call
you
Delta.
leave the Delta desk, and she's like, you have to take it up with Delta, and you turn around after you just lose the conversation because you're not getting anywhere, and you're like, now where do I go? Because I just spoke with Delta. She's telling me I have to speak with.
It was
Delta.
just over.
Yeah.
It was like, you, sir, I know you've run around. Now you come full circle. You're back where you started. I know we all got nowhere, and you learned that you were fucked.
Start again.
Yeah, call corporate. I don't know.
UK though is horrific. They just say to you like, "Yeah, send an email," and you're like, "Where do I send an email?" Yeah, you just send it to. I've had a run in already on this trip with Avis. Send it to Avis. Okay, so then you find the customer service thing to Avis, and you're
Which
like,
is
"Okay."
just customer
But then
service
it says,
at avis.com.
no reply at customer service.com. And you're like, oh, fair enough. And they got your credit card and they just keep, boom, yeah, 400, 300. You hit a wheel, 500. I didn't hit the damn wheel. I can drive the car and I've got photos of that and I put it back where you told me. Oh, you're emailing me 300.
You're emailing me.
Jesus. And horrific. But what I'm going to say to that question about the US, which is, again, 4th of July, I love America. I'm all for it. I'm batting for them today. 9.9% of apps are legit in America. As soon as you go transatlantic, the app that was legit in America basically collapses. Uber would be one of them. Uber
right?
disappears once you get to the UK. Unless you're in London, Uber doesn't exist. So the problem you got when you go around your little Delta circle is you get to the front and she knows, because you've been before, you have an app. And she knows that app is better than her because it's running on. It's just is, isn't it?
It was way better than her.
Exactly. So you walk up with your little app, and she looks at you, and you go, Delta, and she sees app, and she's like, no. She knows you've broken the. She's like, have you come transatlantic? And you go, no, ma'am. Straight away, she knows you're a Yank, and then you've got a freaking. She's like, I'm screwed. So I got an American with an app who's got a problem. I can't beat this guy.
So this is what was the issue. This is exactly what happened.
She can't beat you.
This is exactly what happened. The information was on my phone that was accurate and true and told me everything that happened, and they were just lying to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I'm delayed an hour. Flight gets an hour late. My connection, I had an hour. So I sprint through the airport. I get to the gate 5 minutes before my airplane is supposed to depart. 5 minutes. So I finally get there. I'm like, yes, says St. Louis on the thing. Get there. I'm like, yes. And they're like, oh, the plane left, sir. And I'm like, it's not even like, what do you mean? I made it. And they had been in cahoots with the flight before. They had come over to me and be like, sir, here's the gate for St. Louis. It's A17. You got to make it. So they knew that I was going to be late. And they're like, and I'm like, you guys couldn't wait like 1 second? What do you mean? And she's like, we did wait, sir. And I look at the thing. It left 6 minutes early and is getting in 20 minutes early. And she's like, we waited. And I'm like, no, if you waited, I'd be on the plane. Like, look.
Right.
And it literally says on the app, the plane left early and was scheduled to arrive 20 minutes early.
And then she forgets every
I'm
language
also
in the
laughing.
world.
And I'm like,
Because I know Riggs escalates that situation. That is just, there's no de-escalation in that whatsoever.
she was just lying to my, I showed her the thing. And that's when she's like, you got to go to the help desk. And then I went to the help desk and they're like,
Round and round
you got to
we
call
go.
Delta. And I'm like, okay. Oh, man.
It's a zero.
It's good though. I mean, this is like therapy. It's great.
Yeah.
Getting it all out.
Right.
Traveling's tough these days.
It's brutal.
There's just flight cancellations, not enough people. It's brutal.
I feel like as well in the olden days, like I'm not that old, so going back to our parents' generation, it was a flipping luxury. You know what I mean? It was a luxury. Now it's just, you guys are scum. You're getting from A to B. We're not bothered. Just get
You've
there.
got the app.
Yeah. You got the app. We can't beat you. Just get where you're going.
You know everything I know.
You just be able to hide under these lies. Like,
Yeah.
we did wait, sir. It's like, you don't have the app before.
I
The olden
totally would have
times,
believed
it
her.
was Like,
I would-
thanks for waiting. Too bad I didn't make it. Now you're like, you left 6 minutes early, you asshole.
Dude, I have the screenshot. It on the thing. It crossed out the time and wrote an earlier time for when it left.
Dude, I was so
God.
furious with
like-
United the other day that I found the CEO on Instagram and messaged him.
Yeah, dude. When you're in those moments, that's
Yeah. That's desperate.
I was furious. It was so Frankie and I talked about this. It was an international flight. I booked it on United, but they have partner airlines. And so, anyways, like I fly all the time. I use United, and so I get upgraded status and whatever. But if you fly through one of their partner airlines, you don't get any of that status, even if you book it through United. So I had a flight from Munich to Denver, and I was the second to last row, middle seat. And I was furious for 8.5 hours. I mean, I couldn't move. do anything.
Yeah, you're a big
and
fella.
so I
too.
was irate for 8.5 hours.
You're just DMing
I was
the
so,
CEO.
oh, yeah,
and
I
the
was
plan-
just pissed.
The other
So,
thing
he
that
didn't get back to me. Sure.
I'll say that travel is what I really learned on Friday when I sprinted to that plane is, man, like, have you ran as fast as you could in a long time?
Yeah.
You
My
can't.
right side gives
probably
out.
been
You can't make it,
15 years since
dude.
I
You
tried
can't
to
make
do
it
that.
100 yards. Like I legit was like, I'm gonna sprint to this gate, and you fly past all these people, and then it's tortoise in the hair. Like they're just walking past, and I'm like. I still got to go another terminal,
tortoise in the hair.
dude. You
The
wouldn't
perfect
believe-
analogy.
I was,
Yeah.
And then for the rest, like the next 2 hours, I just went to the bar. At that point, it's 4th of July weekend. I was like, "Fuck this!" Went to the bar. Every time somebody made me laugh, I couldn't laugh. I was just coughing.
My right side gives out now. Pretty much.
Legit, my lungs were just toast.
I think I subconsciously don't ever try to go top speed because in my head I still got it, and I know if I give it a run, it's not going to be what it used to.
That was
be.
exactly what happened. My brain was not up to speed with my actual cardio.
Right, 'cause
We almost
Yeah.
lost you during the Ryder Cup when we ran to the first tee.
That was tough.
That was tough.
really
We
hard.
woke
I
up
watched
at
that.
like
I watched
3:30
it.
in
I
the
saw
morning,
that.
and
Yeah.
you barely made it. I
I
barely
had
made it.
McDonald's-
Funny. I actually did watch that.
I had
I said, what are
McDonald's
these
in
clowns doing now? They seem like sprinting through.
That's
like
what they
these
were doing.
I
guys.
mean, with Sergio, we almost lost you. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm out of shape.
Uh,
One of our favorite apps, actually, all of us, the Truebill app.
yes, sir.
I use it all the time. Truly Truebill. I moved recently.
Little
Bought a
Truly
couch.
Truebill
Yeah, I bought a couch. I bought a big fuck you TV. And
You did.
I really
Yeah.
I had it was like the one thing
He got
that I
my
wanted.
TV 12 inches bigger.
Bigger? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's awesome. You guys live in the same town, too.
We do, yeah.
Incredible.
I'm gonna have him
came-
over. We're gonna watch TV.
He
It's gonna
came and he fucking he got my TV and he just got it bigger.
be like a lot bigger.
So Frankie's gonna be
12
like, "You want to
inches
come
big.
over and watch the game?" And Trent's to be like, "I mean,
Yeah, and
you
then he
know,
got two other ones
I could,
underneath
but
it.
like, why would I?
my TV's
yeah, I
12
got a
inches,
big
but
one.
I mean,
I
you
got
probably
a big
should
one
come
up
over
top, and I got two little smaller ones.
But what
Small
comes with
is
that?
relative.
Yeah, they're like 47s. But what comes with that is expenses and
I got-
bills are going to start coming in, and it lets you know big time.
Right, I get large transaction alerts from Truebill when it's like, "Hey, you're spending a lot of money on TV." They're just letting me know how much I'm spending and making sure it's actually me. And
It
not
also
somebody else.
itemizes stuff like this is what you're spending in food.
Love that
This is
feature.
what you're spending on entertainment. This is what you're spending at restaurants. Like
Starbucks.
Starbucks.
Whole
It's like
thing.
we actually before we had Truebill as a partner, we complained about that not being like a thing. Remember we used to talk about like I wish I knew exactly how much I spent at Taco Bell or something. You now
Right.
have it all itemized exactly how we always wanted it. It's super easy to see what you're spending money on.
You also can cancel subscriptions directly through the app, which is nice. It just lays those out for you. Don't fall for subscription scams. Start canceling today at truebill.com/4. Go right now. That is truebill.com/4.
Trotty, so with fitting golf clubs, when we go to the Kingdom, one of the biggest things, everyone goes crazy when we do it. All the videos, everyone loves it.
Good.
But one of the
Disneyland.
things that people
Good. We like that.
We get a
Good,
lot
yeah.
of messages, by the common man, for the common man. A lot of the people don't have the luxury of getting fitted. What would you say in your expertise of it, like, is the most important thing for someone if they want to improve their game or get fitted or do anything? Is there anything that people that maybe don't have the money to be able to go and get fitted, or like, is there anything that they can do to help improve their game or their setup or anything? Is there another way around it? Because like I get all these messages about being like, man, I wish I could do that, but this is too expensive or that's too expensive. It's too impossible to get to the Kingdom as just a regular golfer. Have you, in your experience?
Yeah, so obviously now a couple of things we've got. We do like a virtual fitting that came out of COVID. So you can, I believe you could at the time, I think you still can, you can contact a virtual
Well,
fitter.
that's pretty cool.
That's one. Point
That's
number
cool.
two is you can go anywhere in the States, even the world now. It's all TaylorMade fitting online. You can go anywhere and it's free. You know what I mean? It's not like you have to buy the sticks. You're not committed to it. But then if you simplify that down a bit and go, okay, fair enough. I get that. TaylorMade offers that. Brilliant. What about fitting? I think that a 60% from an amateur's perspective of the fitting comes from the amateur. They need to be honest with themselves. You guys obviously are brutally honest with yourself. That's why Barstool is very appealing, and you share your experiences with golf and people connect with that. But a lot of us as golfers can't be as honest when we look at ourselves in the mirror and we're like, no, I can hit a 4-iron. you can't hit a 4-iron. You know what I mean?
I cannot hit a 4-iron.
I would expect you to say that, which is great. And then once the fitter knows that, they're like, dude, chill. We got rescues going up to flipping 25 degrees. And then the guy would be like, well, what, 25? How's that? It's pretty much a 4-iron. You're going to be good. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we can even make weaker rescues if we really need to. So then just be honest with yourself is absolute number one. So yeah, you can find features and you can find people. Like if you're using that as an excuse, that's bullshit. Just go on the internet.
Right.
Point or get an app. It's the same deal. Point number 2 is...
But it won't work outside the U.S.
No. Point number 2. My TaylorMade Plus is coming to the UK. People need to chill. It's coming.
Okay.
That app's insane, by the way.
It is
We'll get into
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that a lot this week.
And my TaylorMade Plus has all these things in it, to be fair. So it's a one-stop shop. The next thing, be honest with yourself. And then your distances as well. How many times do I hear, well, you know, I hit an 8-iron 155. No, you don't, mate. You hit an 8-iron 135 if you hit it somewhere near the face, which doesn't happen very often.
You're looking
So,
right through my soul right now.
I'm just thinking about my old
All right,
man.
so
We
Trent
touched on-
one-on-one with Trotty. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
we touched on that in the bus here, talking about my old man who just doesn't listen anymore. He now hits it like worm high. And he's just old, you know, no speed, horrific at golf, doesn't listen anymore. But in his mind, he still hits his 6-iron 180.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't just about walk 180. You know what I mean? No man hit a 6-iron 180.
Trotty's furious with his pop.
Livid.
He's also said on the ride down, he's pretty much just giving up on helping him.
I've
He
given
used
up.
to be like that, open up the face of the bunker, swing through, you know, whatever, down the left-hand side to pop it out. And now he just doesn't say a word. He's, oh, yeah, good shot.
Has it
Doesn't
gotten more
matter at all.
frustrating?
Yeah,
Just keep your eye on the ball there. Yeah. You're
Has it
doing
gotten more
great.
frustrating for you to deal with like people that are like not the Rory McIlroys and Tiger Woods, because that's your crew now, right? That's the guys that you're fitting and you're playing with. Like now all of a sudden you see your pops who can't get it out of a fucking bunker. It's like, yeah, I mean, like the majority of the world sucks at golf, right? Does that drive you crazy?
True.
Yes and no. Obviously, I had 15 years working with tour players, which is amazing. It's quite intense at times, like believe it or not. If something cracks on the Wednesday of a major, which has happened before, like your man Koepka, his driver cracked at Belle Reeve. I was the only guy around. Everyone was out with players. It was Wednesday. We should have been dialed in. So I'm like, okay, on the range, like that's a pretty heated situation. You have to get that driver bang on. And like we're talking like if you're 0.1 gram off or the CG's in the wrong place or the loft isn't money, and he's just going to look at you like you just stole his family. You're an idiot.
Right.
Like, get this right. That is a lot. And that has been great fun. And the years to this point obviously allow you to deal with that. I have a fairly jovial way of dealing with it, albeit not with Koepka, but if the shit hits the fan and it's someone serious, I'm like, listen, mate, chill out. We're going to get you covered. We've got a whole truck of shit right there. If I can't do this, then, you know,
got a whole trunk of shit
we
right
need
there.
an app. This is a problem, you know? But I got it.
Cool, though. I mean, like, TaylorMade is so trusted now that it's got to feel good.
But you're not going to work on tour for TaylorMade unless you're the best, in all fairness.
Right.
And the
Yeah.
guys that are still out there who still love pounding the roads, they're amazing. And I will stand by that. No matter if you get it. I traveled so many places with these people. You have a lot of interesting conversations. Some of the things you agree on, some of the things you don't. Some of the boys you get on with, some of them, it's a lot. There are weeks you go by where you probably think each other's a nightmare, and there's weeks where you think each other's great. It's the same when you work on tour for TaylorMade. You know what I mean? But they are the best, in all fairness, and I hand on heart mean that. But working back to the question with amateurs, I've been also very lucky. They've put me in with some top-level athletes, people that are games that, which I'm actually annoyed at myself. I don't follow US sports as well as I should, and I meet these absolute icons of US sport. They're great guys. I'm able to use it to my advantage. They obviously hear the accent. I don't follow the sport, so I'm not bowled away by who they are. And then we get into it. Oh, you want to play golf? Well, let's really treat you like a player, which they then love because they come from a top sport where they're used to being spoken to by top-level coaches who are direct. And these guys, boys, you see someone with real talent in another sport, and that's when I learned I'm not good enough to even have... I tried to play golf. The reason I didn't make it, because I simply was absolutely nowhere near. And you get someone like a J.R. Smith or an Aaron Rodgers, and you watch them hitting balls, and you start to tweak the odd thing, and they start doing it in 3 or 4 balls, and you're just like, this is crazy. If
Was
I
it the
had...
3-wood? Was it the 3-wood with Aaron Rodgers that you were teaching him how to hit?
Yeah, it was 3-wooden driver, but he's
That
just...
video was crazy.
He's hitting
You-
it properly, though. Properly.
You like moved what? Was his ball position a little bit?
A
And he
little
start-
bit, I think, and we changed his orientation with where
he
the
started
target was.
launching
and
golf balls.
It's just amazing, and so much speed. Like, a big guy, yes, but still you have to move. And
Yeah.
he had more speed than I have, and I've been doing this my whole life.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
Just insane.
It's insane.
athleticism.
And then I start thinking, I wonder if I picked up an American football now, how I'd go. And I ain't going to do it in front of him. But you get home, and obviously I got kids, and there's an American football flying around. You pick it up, and you have a throw of it, and you're like, it doesn't even fucking spiral out. I'm like, I'm shit. I got no talent. I don't even deserve to be here. So I just throw the ball down, walk off.
Punt it,
And
go
at
inside.
that point, you got all the kids from the neighborhood. Oh, we're playing football. I'm like, no, lads, we're not playing American football. No, I'm going in. Disgusted. But, so that, and then we get, sorry to cut you off, we get you boys come in, and I enjoy that as well. But you've obviously got big personalities. It only gets a grind when you're with people that, I played golf with someone the other day, and I wanted to help them. So I sort of half inject myself into it. And they knew I was there from TaylorMade, and then instantly they don't want to listen. And I'm just like, I've been here with my dad plenty of times. It's all good. Let's save 25 years. You carry on. Take the stealth.
Right.
See you, mate.
Bigger face, good luck.
I don't need to do it. Yeah.
No.
Bigger face, good luck. Exactly. Tee it up a bit. You'll be all right.
All right, this is a TaylorMade ad, but I mean, if you're just listening to the podcast right now,
It's pretty
I don't
clear.
know that there's a better advertisement for TaylorMade golf than Trotty.
Yeah, I mean, we have TaylorMade Chris Trotty Trot. There's no chance. There's absolute what? That's his name. It's Chris Trotty
is
Trot
his name.
with quotes in between.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Facts only.
You showed it to us on Instagram. Point proven.
No, that's not on Instagram.
No,
That's not on
no,
Instagram. That's on TaylorMade.com.
Okay.
Great website.
Is it TaylorMadeGolf.com?
Probably.
TaylorMadeGolf.com. Chris Trotty Trot is on this show to tell us everything that we need to know about this freaking amazing golf company.
And I want to tell people about these Spider GTs. These
Oh,
new
they're so
TaylorMade
good.
Spider GTs.
Customizable
Oh, we
ones.
got all of our
Kidding me?
customized. There's like hundreds of options that you
I have
can use with all the
undercolored
different
ones.
colors.
Matt Martin looked at mine and he goes, I need this. He asked if he could buy my exact version. I said, yes, you can. On the website, I have my specs on TaylorMadeGolf.com.
You go to barstoolsports.com/TaylorMade and shop Spider GT to create your own. Use the promo code Barstool at checkout for free shipping. We also have all of ours on there, like Frankie just said. So you can literally go and copy the exact one that we made. St. Louis Blues 2019 Stanley Cup champions. I made that like that. I like it. I actually saw David Perron responding to my post when I posted my Spider
go.
putter GT. Good goal scorer. Choose from hundreds of color combinations so you can build the perfect putter to support your favorite school or team. BarstoolSports.com/TaylorMade. Shop Spider GT to create your own. Use the promo code Barstool at checkout for free shipping. So how plugged in are you with the new stuff? Because obviously you're out there. I mean, you are as close in terms of integrating it as anyone on earth, with the stealth, with the new generation of, new lines of product as they're coming out. Do you have input in the engineering and the R&D? How tight are you to that whole process?
So that's a great question. I've been with TaylorMade since Moses was a small boy, basically, a long time.
Yep.
And you obviously you aspire to work on the PGA Tour, eventually get there. When you get to do that, you're involved a tiny bit with the R&D in the sense that the boys bring you the products and you get to see it as a test panel that sees it before the PGA Tour players. So you get to see these prototypes and you get to hit them. I've hit a few, but there are other guys who hit it pretty good. So whoever's hitting it good that day, they hit. We put various monitors down, like a Foresight and a TrackMan, and you watch them, you watch ball flight, and off you go. And then you give some feedback, and a lot of it is paint lines and the way this thing looks, and you're talking about it based from PGA Tour.
I was going to ask sort of how much of the just aesthetic and preferential feedback they want, because that, the sound of it and the look of it.
Yeah.
And we talk about that as golfers all the time. You can put it on the monitor all day, but if people go to the store and it makes a fucking weird sound, you're going to sell less drivers.
So for these conversations with R&D, this is basically purely based on, okay, you guys are the lead fitters for this company. You're out on tour. What are the players saying about the previous year's model? Why are some of the previous models still in, if any are? What's Tiger saying? Some of you work with him. What does he say? What does Hideki Matsuyama say? Yeah. And a lot of what we talk about is about the fairway woods and the paint lines and the relationship between the top line to the leading edge. Obviously, we used to have white tops.
Right. Sorry, what do you mean paint lines?
Paint lines are, so you have the face and then you have the crown, and there's obviously has to be a paint line that identifies the two. And if you put them at a different orientation, it gives it a different perception when you sit it down. But when you change the loft sleeve, which is the little shaft adapter, you change the relationship between face angle and leading edge. So it all starts to look very different. And all these things are massive as to what goes in play and what doesn't go in play. Well, you've lost yours. The app will tell you where they are.
You can go in the back
First
left
door,
room,
take a left there. My clubs are in there.
So players are very sensitive to
Yeah.
that. Then we also look at what competitors' clubs are successful on tour and why. And then we talk about different irons and we get into very much like the granular information.
Right.
So if you just look at this now, I'll try and do it with one hand. And obviously we haven't got a wrench here, but it's all good. So obviously the face is red. You got the 60 layers of carbon are red, and then you've got this crown on top here.
Yep.
So when you adjust in this little section here, the orientation between the two lines changes and how this sits changes. And obviously I've got the matte of the carbon, and then I've got that, which is a gloss against the red. That red is deliberately that dark because it's not as offensive. Those grooves that are white are deliberately, that's just like laser etched on there. They're not actually grooves, but they're there to frame the golf ball. The grooves are hidden in behind, and they're all, if you actually look from where Trent and Frankie are, the white grooves are on a different angle than the toe and the leading edge. So this here, this ridge up here, and the way this sits, these grooves are set at different angles. So when you sole the golf club, so say that this is a normal sized human holding that, and it's a 60-degree angle, those grooves are not 60 degrees. They're actually perceived to be a little bit flatter because aerodynamically, the toe of this golf club is higher, which makes the club appear closer to your nose and appear more upright, which in a tour player's mind, if they're right-handed, brings a left miss in, and you don't want that. So they give you the visual with the grooves being flatter. Wow. A lot of crap goes into it.
Right.
And you just hit it and think, yeah, we're all good.
Yeah, tee it up.
Tee it up, give it a hit.
That was great.
215, it's out there, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So here's the next thing, which
swing.
the next thing, which is awesome, and obviously this was the first year that I didn't have a front row seat on this because I've been on tour every year pretty much until this year when the content came in. When you get on the tour and you go Hawaii all the way through to sort of Honda, it's all go. Like quarter one, like most businesses, you got to hammer it. But you learn a lot about the clubs. So on tour, this weight in the back can be changed. You can change the weight and the way the weights are configured under there. You can put what's called hot melt in, which is how you position the inside. It's like a carpet glue. I don't know if you've ever been, you probably maybe a shit hotel, and the carpets are coming up. They glue the carpets in. That glue can go in here, change the sound, change the CG location. And on tour, pretty much every year, you'll find a combination of head weight, location, and shaft that will just be mint. And that's when fitting is awesome. And obviously, you got these guys hitting it. They never miss the center of the golf club. Right. It's not, if you miss the center of the golf club, it's tricky. So obviously this year, I was in communication quite a bit with the guys on tour. I was hitting a lot of balls myself, not that it's a comparison, and trying to find some good players to hit that I could either film stuff with or watch, just to sort of work out what's going to be the good head, what's going to be the good shaft this year, what's going to be the right weight, what's a good length for this product. And when you find it, to be honest, it then just becomes plug and play, and it's simple.
And so it sounds like the hardest thing for you then is to get repetitions from a good player hitting it. Is that the case? So do you mimic that in a robot kind of thing? Can you program
on tour?
Tiger
That's not
swing?
hard at all.
Okay.
Not hard at all. And obviously, I can hit it pretty consistently, so I can do it. But it's always nice if you've got a tour player around, because obviously there's the human feel element as well.
Right.
So you have to have that feel. So the more tour players you can get through the testing, the better. The robot, it's pretty easy to fit on a robot, but it's never going to tell you, well, I don't like the sound or I don't like the feel. Or a lot of
Doesn't we got other problems?
some of the comments, some of the comments,
way bigger problem.
Some of the comments you might hear is, oh, I can't feel the face, or I like the misses, or if I miss it in the heel, it doesn't feel like a heel hit. And you might hear that and you're like, that as a fitter at a PGA Tour level, that's a problem. You need to be able to make a golf club when they miss it, if they miss it fractionally, it needs to feel how it should feel.
Yeah.
So then you got to, manipulate sound. Swing weight, which is balance point, is a huge one. I always harp on about that. How many people know what swing weight they use? The answer is hardly anyone. The swing weight is your balance point of a golf club. You might have an 8-iron that you absolutely love, and you'd be like, why do I always hit this 8-iron so damn good? You toss it aside, you get a new set, all of a sudden the 6-iron becomes your favorite one. You're like, why do I hit this 6-iron so good? It's because the damn swing weight is what you like the feel of. What you should do, take that club, find a decent club fitter, and be like, mate, I love this. Like, let's work off this as our base point, and let's build the set from there.
That's interesting.
It's pretty
That's
genius
amazing.
stuff,
I'm gonna
yeah.
remember that for the next time.
People
we
at
come to the
home are
kingdom.
scrambling around now, just finding that club and saying, "All right,
Well,
I'll
most
take my whole
people
bag."
probably know what club
They
that
all
they
do.
love.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Confidence
there's a
over
reason.
a certain club, like
There's
your
a
hybrid.
reason.
Back, you know, it's
I
like,
love that club.
right.
I love that club.
And you will like the paint. You don't know because you've not been around it, but the paint lines will be what you like. And the lie angle will be what you like. And the grip weight will be what you like. You think it's all BS, but I've sat on tour trucks. How bad's this? This is when you question your life. And I've weighed grips to change them for KJ Choi. I've weighed them. And if they're off by 0.5 of a gram, he's like, oh, no, Chris, no.
It's crazy they can even feel that.
Because it affects the whole swing weight. So
Yeah.
once you change the weight of the grip, it affects the way the head weight is. And I'm looking at this geezer thinking, mate, there's got to be a
This is
fucking
where you
app for this.
question your
There's
life.
got to be an app who can weigh these things.
You're gonna have to call down.
Weighing a grip. Starting to lose my mind.
We've heard all the rumors about Tiger Woods being able to like tell the difference between a gram of like the shaft or whatever, or whether it was the ball. He could tell the difference. Have you seen anything that's blown your mind with Tiger Woods specifically while working with him?
So his clubs, do you remember when your parents used to say to you, I don't know, maybe they did, maybe they, my old man did, going in for an exam and he'd always be like, if you're reading the books the night before, you ain't got a clue, you haven't done any work here, what are you doing? Always panicking. Tiger is never panicking at a tour event. He hardly comes on the truck. I think this new truck, even this double-decker we've got, he's only been on it 2 or 3 times just at launch events and stuff like that. He's so dialed. But obviously Wade, our beloved technician, who is just an absolute legend of a bloke, he's made the clubs for him. And yes, there's been rumors coming back. When he gets them and he tests them at home, he's got like 8 greens in his yard, all at different firmness, different grass. And I believe he can tell the difference between everything. Yeah. I also believe he is the best player I've ever seen. I mean, very few people get to work with him. I did a podcast for TaylorMade with him that was unbelievable. He's so smart at answering questions. He knows straight away if you have any clue about golf. And there are obviously levels in golf. And he looks at you and he's like, based on the questions you're asking, he's like, this guy is completely clueless, or I might give him a chance. And obviously I got a script from TaylorMade, little side story. I get the script from TaylorMade as to what they want me to ask, which is sometimes frustrating. But look, I work for a great company and obviously I have to get some points across. And I remember going to, and this is again how great TaylorMade are. I remember going to like the CMO and saying, listen, mate, have you seen this script for Tiger? Of course, me thinking he might have. And he's like, no, he doesn't get involved in that. He's like, no, I haven't seen it. And I've gone, it's pretty shit. And he's like, you think you can do better? Yeah. Fucking do it then. All right. So I wrote the whole script and I got to ask him everything keeping my company hat on, but wanted to ask him. And I think straight away, Tiger, in the first 3 minutes of the podcast, is like, okay, maybe this guy isn't such a kook as what he looks, and let's give him half an answer.
What was your best question?
Well,
I would
obviously,
love to know a best golf question. I
Yeah.
don't even know where to start. Does anybody
Yeah.
have a good golf question?
Well, I'm gonna see what he says.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. It was a long time ago, and I think it was my icebreaker, I would say. So I basically asked him if he remembered having a piss in a restroom in Dubai with me, because obviously you come in and the guy's like, he's intimidating even for people in the golf industry.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
He's not a big man, but he doesn't want to be. He just doesn't want to be there. And I get it, and they obviously must make him tired. So I'm like, okay, I got to open with a good one here. So just so he knows I'm not an idiot. So I'm like, hey, you know the range in Dubai at the Desert Classic? And he's looking at me straight away, like, where are we going with this? And he's like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, I got his interest. I said, well, you know the restroom at the back? And then he's like, double taking me, thinking this is not starting exactly how I started. I said, do you remember taking a piss in there? And I was already in there. And he's just laughs straight away. So I'm like, okay, good.
Fantastic.
So that was probably the best question I ever asked him. Nothing to do with golf. But
Loosen it up.
yeah, I was like, I mean, because you
Good
can't just
direction.
whip out the bevy
No.
straight away. I mean,
Right.
I just gotta like get this guy chilling. But no, I think I asked some good questions along the way about like, he plays very old lofts. He plays old school lofts. So you've got 790s, right? So
I got 770.
770s, but one of you's probably got yeah. So the lofts on the 790s and the 770s are a bit stronger because of the way the center of gravity is located in the club. And I'm not going to get deep into it. But when you hit a good launch and good spin, it's all about the correlation between the center of gravity of the ball and the center of gravity of the club. And when we return a club a certain way, it gives us a launch and spin that gives the golf ball a good flight. If Tiger uses those clubs, he's going to hit it forever with no spin because of the way he delivers the golf club is the correct and proper way. So he uses a 6-iron that is very weak loft, but it's 1990s traditional loft. And he hasn't come off that. He hasn't moved. And I think something I did ask him that was much more golfy was like, listen, why have you never moved with technology? Why have you never... He's always played the traditional setup he plays. He's never really come off of it. And his answer was somewhat generic, but it was still good. I mean, it's along the lines that he doesn't believe he should embrace that and change it. And I think a big thing that we're seeing now filter into TaylorMade, and I don't know how much we can talk about this, but he started his son out on some blades. And I remember they were sat in with our machine guy, our engineer, and his name is Jesus, so obviously Jesus. Mm-hmm. And I go in and have a look at these irons that Jesus has made. No one's allowed in there. And they know I'm an Instagram whore. And I walk in and instantly they're like, no, to the phone. Like, I'm like, yeah, I got it. I get it. I work here. Don't take a picture. I got it. So I just turn the camera on and walk in. I'm like, there might be something good here because they're all panicking and they know I'm in there. And I see these irons and they're just beautiful things. You know what I mean? And they've had 40% of the weight has been milled out of them. So Tiger wants his son, back as a few years ago, to have blades. They've milled out 40% of the weight. These things are just a masterpiece. And I just look at Jesus and I'm like, see why they call you Jesus. And he's like, hey, pretty well. But these things were legit. Anyway, order comes in recently, Tiger Woods, and he's ordered his kid some cavity backs because someone's got in his ear and said, listen, just because you grew up on this stuff, games change, blah, 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 which then I go back to the podcast I did with him and he's like, I don't really want to change for the equipment. But now he's not holding his son to that. That's how forward thinking he's prepared to be with a different generation. He's excellent. I've only had a small piece to do with him and it's been brilliant. And, I think it's amazing to have him in the game, but he is like the Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. I mean, there's very few people's names you could put in with his name. It's unbelievable how good he is.
Would you like an easier way to play golf, ladies and gentlemen?
Always.
That's a good answer. Barstool Golf Time App. That is your answer. I use it all the time to book tee times. I know you guys do as well. And you get rewards. You get rewards for booking tee times. You get rewards for leaving reviews. So you're going to get the best
for playing golf.
Pretty much. You're going to get the best tee time deals. You're going to have the most courses to choose from. If you're in a new region, you're going to be able to just aggregate all of your options in a spot, see the reviews, and then when you book, you're going to book for cheaper. You're going to get the best tee time rates, and you're going to gain rewards. So it's really crazy not to use it.
Yeah, you're going to be playing golf anyway. If you're listening to this podcast, you're going to be golfing all the time anyway.
Most likely. It's Fore Golf Podcast.
Get the rewards.
Curate as many reviews and as many rounds on that app as possible, and you're just going to get sent Peter Millar merch and Barstool Golf merch. It's crazy. You're just getting rewards for doing what you would do on all different types of websites. Do it all on the same one. Barstool Golf Time app.
Go download it, the Barstool Golf Time app. Go download it today. Start earning your rewards. Leave reviews. Reviews are great. You can post videos. You can post photos. You can post just little blurbs. And then book tee times. You're going to get discounts on merch. You're going to gain rewards. It's going to be fun. Barstool Golf Time app. Go use it.
For you, what's the most impressive thing about his swing? He says he's the best golfer you've ever seen.
Just the consistency of the strike. I mean, the swing obviously has changed over the years and how he moves and stuff, but it's the discipline. It's not really a swing answer. It's the discipline of him when he turns up and goes through the process. So you're into that, the process. Yeah, you're into that. Yeah. It's the discipline of how he maintains the process, okay? And then it's also nothing phases him, which again is process. But just the consistency of the strike. I mean, these irons he's got, they're small. And if you ever hit those Tiger Woods irons,
tiny.
They're not easy to hit. And they go short and they're spinny. And if there's any wind like here, the ball just... And you're like, man, this is difficult. You feel like you're at the Delta desk, but with a set of irons. It's tough. You know what I mean? And he's just great. So it's more process rather than is there anything in his swing that you love? I think it's just, I was with a guy last week who's so disciplined about what he eats. There's certain things, it's like, Tiger's doing that every day with everything he does.
Right.
I'm going to hit 14 golf balls because that's what my back can take today. I remember we went to one event and he had some guy there, it doesn't work for him anymore, and he had a clicker on the number of balls that Tiger was hitting. And he went up to him after like 33 balls, and he's like, as if to say, "You're almost done with your quota, you know. Quit."
Holy
here."
shit.
It's
crazy.
crazy.
Pitch
It's
count.
crazy.
Tiger Woods, man, he just changes everything. He
Fascinating.
changes.
I think to become Tiger Woods, you got to do the little shit like that, though. Of
course.
he's
100%.
the only one out there with
That's
a
what we
clicker.
want. That's what we want. We want him, different. I'm always amazed because he's, people always talked about how he used the spinniest golf ball forever and using
Spinniest irons.
the spinniest irons. And how can he control it like that?
Because when you're that good, it's easy to take spin off. It's hard to add spin. So when he comes and plays the links here and he's going to play holes that are downwind, you want spin to keep the ball in the air. Remember I said that golf is about launch and spin, and your irons, your 770s and your 790s give you a launch and spin number based on the averages of the way a player of your handicap level, age, and flexibility hits the golf ball. Those irons sell so great because most golfers fall into those categories.
Right.
As you improve and you get like him, he needs spin because spin gives him more shots, because hitting a shot that loses 300 revolutions of spin at his level is very easy to do. Hitting a shot that gains 300 revolutions of spin, you can't really do it. So he takes the spinniest option and then he knocks off.
It's different. The
It's
whole thing's
crazy.
different.
It's insane.
That is so cool to
It's
hear it that way.
insane.
I've never understood it that way.
Insane. I remember at the end of that podcast again, I asked him a question and I almost felt like there was a pitch counter on my questions.
Yeah.
Like, your questions.
That guy's behind you, like,
Yeah, yeah. Well, the guy's behind the
Click.
camera, and he's got behind the camera, and I knew I had 30 minutes, and he's behind the camera. He's doing this to me.
No.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Give him the Jimmy V.
but I'm giving it one of these with the phone, going 21 minutes. I had a timer. I was being a pro. I knew what I was doing. I'm like, I'm at 21. I'm getting 30 minutes with this cat. This could be the best 30 minutes of my life.
Right.
Like, just slow down, buddy. You know what I mean? He's standing up, and he's a big man, but he's old, so I'm like, I can maybe take him, whatever. So, but I'm like, I'm not giving him the satisfaction. I got questions left. So then we finish. Tiger goes to get up. Someone asks him for an autograph. I'm like, no, we're trying to look cool here. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, one question I asked him was like a Hogan thing, because if we play Carnoustie on that strip, that's where Hogan won the Open.
Hogan's
right?
alley.
I'm a big Hogan fan. So I asked him like a Hogan question or something. He looked at me as if I half knew what I was talking about. And I was like, shit, ask him another one. And I quickly blurted out some shit question. And then I was like, yeah, he's done. Because he looked at me and goes, he just holds his hands up and goes,
Yeah.
It's all in the hands. I mean, fuck off. I've just asked you the best question ever, and all you're going to tell me is it's in the hands. I want an answer now so I can go out on the chipping green and do this straight away. I'm so golf horny now. I've just had half an hour, 29 minutes question, man, with Tiger Woods. Let me go and do some chipping and shit,
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
That's fine. I remember when we had when Alan Shipnuck was on and he was talking about being on the Golf Channel and he was doing a one-on-one with Rich Lerner about his book, and he said they would ask him like a really long, complicated question, and Ship was like he would start to get ready to answer, and then they would zoom in heavily on Ship, and he's like, then the other guys behind him would be like, let's go. They'd be like running him through, and he's like, no, I got like 5 minutes I can answer on this, and they're like, come on, let's go. And like behind the scenes, so you're just like, dude, how can I think and operate? And and you're sitting there with Tiger Woods, and they're just hitting the watch on you. It makes it brutal, but yeah, I've always remember that about. I think you said to me too when we were at the Kingdom for the first time. I think you said about the golf ball that was going to be the most important decision that equipment wise that anybody made all day was what golf ball they
Because you
used.
build your whole bag around it, basically. And the beauty is about this trip, I've traveled to this trip with TP5Xs. I played last week in Birmingham, which is just in the middle of England. And I'm like, I got the wrong ball. I need a TP5. Like, it's hard. We spoke about this. You hit a 6-iron out here, it could go 230, no problem. If it hits the right way with the right spin, it could land and run. So you need a more spinny golf ball. Morikawa changed golf balls. When he came over to play the Open last year, he changed bounce and irons and was messing around with all of it. So it's something you got to consider, which is why when you go for your fitting at the Kingdom, start with the golf ball, even if it's not the Kingdom and it's just someone listening. Another good point. Where do you start? Golf ball. Get the same down. Quit buying the lake balls. Buy the ball that's the same. And then you've got a constant. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a great point. I think everyone's just going to the PGA Superstore or whatever, and they're grabbing whatever they can get.
Price, isn't it? They're driven by price.
Right.
I get it, but be smart if you can.
Or be consistent.
Yeah.
How excited are you for this carbon wood age to see this thing even improve if it can? I don't like the stealth. Like, I don't know how you can get better, but I'm sure you guys are already working on a new iteration and somehow.
I think I just have trust, right? I mean, having worked around these guys at R&D for so long, at this point, I have trust.
TaylorMade's just dominating. It's like
and what they make is great, and even when you get it, and if you're not sure, but then there'll be like a Stealth and then a Stealth Plus, or the fairway woods are the same deal. You've got options. So even if you can't hit what you want, you can always find what you want pretty quickly. I trust them explicitly. I think the carbon wood thing, I thought it was going to sound horrific. It sounded pretty freaking awesome, to be honest with you.
Sounds amazing.
It's been my favorite driver, and I would tell the truth, even though corporately I shouldn't, I would, but it's been my favorite driver, And I think that people know that about me at TaylorMade. Like, I'll say if I think something's shit, I'm pretty quick to say. And this is pretty damn good.
Is it a big moment for you when you guys finally put that in the hands of Rory and Tiger and you get to finally see what they say about it and think about it?
We include them much earlier than we have in previous years. And so we don't get caught out really anymore.
Yeah.
We had a couple of seasons where we got caught out because we did that. And we went for the big unveil and we would do a lot of it at the photo shoot. And we'd be like, this is money. And the boys would hit it. And they're not really getting G'd up. And they realize that the guys who work on tour stood next to them, even though they're mic'd up, and they start telling us what they really think. And I'm like, yo, the camera's on, like, fucking say something cool. And they're like,
say something cool.
Fuck you, no. Like, this is, and then you get one, yeah, this is great. And you're like, oh, shit.
That's believable.
Yeah, so we sort of changed and brought them in a lot sooner. So you still get the reaction, but they have now seen it a little earlier, and obviously at that moment is fantastic, and we do film a lot of that. And yeah, if there's good reactions, we go for it. These guys are a little bit jaded to it as well. Like, these are the tools of their trade. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's much like a racing car driver. I quite like cars, I guess, but if I went to a Formula One track and saw them, I'd be like, this is unbelievable. But if you put Lewis Hamilton or something walking around there, he's going to be like, okay, what's this going to do for me to put the best times on the track? He's not going to be looking at the paint on the car going, wow, I wonder what wax they've used there. That's unbelievable. He doesn't care, does he? And I feel it's a bit like that with the tour players. They look at them and they go like, okay, cool, but I want to see. They always want to hit it. They never stand there and like glare at it. You know, when you buy a club sometimes, I'll do it sometimes with putters, and you just spend a bit of time looking at it, and you get home and then you walk around your kitchen with it, and then you shake the putter a few times in the lounge. You're like, yeah. You put the head cover on, take it off, smell the grip. You know, I do that. I'm not sure tour players are doing that.
They just want to hit it.
They just want to hit it and they want to win. You know, it's the way they are.
You could tell this year because that was our second time doing TaylorMade Media Day, and the first time was the Sim 2, second time was the Stealth. You could tell there was just a difference with the way that they were talking about it. All the pros were even saying to us, "You guys hit it yet?" Like, they were excited to just like have us tell them what we thought as amateur golfers. It was pretty cool to see the big difference.
But I also think, and a question back at you guys, how's that feel? Like, you guys now are becoming a big part of TaylorMade for sure. You're a big part in your own right. The players are starting to trust you, see you, recognize you. I think everyone in golf is embracing you guys. I mean, how must that feel from this business that you've all been involved in?
Yeah, I think we use the word like surreal a lot when certain things happen, for sure. But, you know, I also think like golf is so unique in that people that are golf fans play golf, and most people that play golf suck at golf, right? And if you're, you know, we use the analogy, if you're a big football fan, American football fan, you probably don't go play like football on the weekends. You sit on your couch and you watch. Golf is so different in that you're constantly thinking about the equipment, the driver, the customization, the color of your putter, the golf course, your Scotland trip, the PGA Tour versus LIV. You're thinking about so many different elements of golf that was something that we almost fell ass backwards into, of like our journey and our experience of moving over, playing TaylorMades, getting this new 3-wood, changing the loft on this, new golf ball, changing for the TP5. Like, those experiences are so relevant to so many people that are golf fans that's, again, something that we kind of like accidentally stumbled into that I think resonates with people massively.
Yeah, it's going to sound like we're pumping TaylorMade's tires, but we always talk about how we think how smart it was for them to see like no other golf company is giving guys like us a chance and really get like letting us show up to media day and hang out with Colin Morikawa or Rory McIlroy, and like for TaylorMade to take that risk on us. And what you do find out is what Riggs is saying, where 99% of people suck at golf. We fall more in that category. It becomes more relatable and we can have a relationship there. That's where I think it's cool, where just a company like TaylorMade took a risk on us and it's working out for the most part. That's my main takeaway when we like a question like that comes out, where it's like TaylorMade saw it. They saw where things were going. They saw an opportunity to be, more relatable than a tour player. Obviously, the tour players are important to the brand, but having guys like us, it brings in a whole different element.
Yeah, we were talking to someone on a rival podcast at the PGA Championship, and they were like, I think we were talking about a video that was coming out from TaylorMade Media Day, and how maybe it was like Sergio running down the fairways. It was one of the ones that we were just like hyping up big time. And they're like, yeah, man, I wish like our partner like let us do half the things that TaylorMade lets you guys do. And it's like a risk on TaylorMade's part to have these four idiots out there on the fairway talking to the biggest stars in golf for an hour, and it works. It just fucking works. I don't know how it works. I don't know why it works, but it works. And it's the risk that TaylorMade takes, and then it's like a risk reward thing. Like, is it going to work? You guys didn't know, and it ended up working. It's fucking amazing how it works out.
Yeah, it is risky. It is amazing to us in that, a deal that TaylorMade's going to strike up with Rory and Sergio and DJ and all these different players. You guys get them for a day or two a year for media day, and during that period, for an hour and a half, you convince them to spend time with us, which is like that is such a valuable piece of their year that you guys lock in, and you're entrusting us with like those moments. So we take that really seriously. It's cool. We like to joke around. We like to laugh, and all that. But like that's our Super Bowl is those 2 or 3 days, and we don't want to fuck it up. And so it is really cool and it's fun, but we get really nervous for it too.
Right, because they
gotta see us after like the Rory thing. It
was crazy,
shaking and like tearing up.
But they could have treated us.
That's the big difference,
They could have just treated us like influencers, right? They could have thrown a few stealths at us, a few TP5s, put it on your Instagram story. That'll be great. But instead, what these guys are saying, TaylorMade brings us into the fold and lets us have access to Colin Morikawa and Rory and all of these great players. That's the difference. It's the risk and the reward. And so far, it's working out.
I would say also, it's insane the brand that TaylorMade's built, because even the players, they generally see we love the game of golf. We're having fun with it. I think at some certain level, Rory, he's got a boyish, just love for the game of golf, and he sees it within us, and he's laughing and gives us all one tip, and we pick up 10-mile-an-hour swing speed. It was insane. But then going back to it, it's like, how cool is a brand TaylorMade? How fun are they to work with? It's amazing that way, because they're like, one day a year, but we love coming here, and it's a pretty awesome partnership, and it's been an insane run, obviously.
So you mentioned the pressure of the Super Bowl of one photo shoot and stuff, and I get it. And obviously, as you go on, I think the beauty is, having done the same, a few of these photo shoots, I had the advantage that I work with these people as golfers, and then they start to see that you do something in front of a microphone, and they're like, okay, you can do that too. Then you start to work on that, talk about product where possible, but try not to make it so stiff and so stale, but you represent a brand. For you boys, you represent yourselves. Barstool very much is you guys. How do you keep coming up with stuff that is engaging and legit and that people want to see? And how tough is that?
I think a huge part of it is personality driven. I think that we're lucky that we have good chemistry, and if you kind of just throw us in a good environment, that good things are going to come from it. And there's a lot that goes into that, into convincing TaylorMade to trust us, convincing Rory's agent to trust us, convincing the USGA to give us credentials. So it's a lot of hard work and building trust, I think, to get into a certain spot. And then once we're in those spots, of course, we try some, different segments and different things for sure, but we're not really a shtick brand. We're more so if you give us the opportunity to mesh with big names, players, personalities, whoever it is in the world of golf, we just love golf. And I think that we do a good job of entertaining people. And that combination of the things that we bring to the table with big names in golf, we just trust that we're going to get really good stuff.
I would also say authenticity goes a long way. We do this golf podcast, and we've all been playing golf pretty much our whole lives. But then for me personally, I can speak from that vantage point of, I'm going to do a Breaking 100 series, and then you're going to get a few people who are like, you're on a golf podcast. You should be able to break 100. You guys are playing all these courses. You're getting all this great gear, all this great equipment, and you still haven't broken 100. That's crazy. But what you find is those people are the minority, and the majority of people are just like me. They're trying to break 100, or they're trying to break 90, and you get this series that comes out that ends up being super popular because it's super relatable. So you really just come from a place of authenticity.
Place.
I was on a roll there for a
You
second.
were rolling.
I was rolling.
Go back
and then
to
I said
it.
place.
Place of
I was rolling and I said place.
That's all we're gonna remember.
I know. Authenticity.
Stop.
But
Do it. You like you're Frankie. Your brain. You're neurotic, right? And there's a lot of people like that on the golf course, and people
I'm fucked up.
gravitate towards that.
yeah.
But like,
I've been too tired
No,
around
but-
you today. You'll see. Like,
No,
I'm
but,
fucked
like-
up this whole week.
think about it. We just
This is
saw
mellow Frankie.
Right, but
Tired mellow Frankie.
He's
but we just
comatose.
saw
We
it go-
comatose
we
him
just saw it
with,
come full circle
flights.
with Trevor Immelman mentioning it on the broadcast, right?
Yeah.
And the Frankie Butter Knives thing has been around since we started this
Yeah.
thing, but people like it because people will see it and be like, I have trouble with my chipping too.
Self-deprecation for me has always been like my defense on like that. That's how I just go through life. But somehow people just enjoy to like. I mean, we're all self-deprecating in some aspect, and we like to make fun of ourselves. I think that's the best part of this brand. Also, I
Can't
would
take
say
yourself too
you
seriously.
can't. And then it's called Barstool Sports. And Dave Portnoy started this company basing off what would a bunch of guys sitting around a bar talk about. And we think about that with golf. How many of the debates that I've had with my buddies, like at a bar, screaming at each other, could Tiger Woods beat you with just a sand wedge? And you're screaming at each other about it, right? And then like we get a chance to go out and fucking do it at TaylorMade Media Day. That's the kind of stuff that like we can't even believe is real.
Right, we played Colin
That's
Morikawa.
happening.
He used a 60 degree, and we used our full bag.
Right.
That's like a bar argument.
I think now you're hitting the point. I already in the bus on the way here when I was with these three. Some of the conversations I was thinking, this is the sort of conversation I'd have with my mates. You know, we were talking about sheep population in Scotland versus
Bang.
human
Right.
population.
Mind blowing.
But
I was right about that.
You were, you were, fucker.
twat.
You twat. But I think coming all the way back to it, surely that's it on the blueprint. I mean, you boys get maybe a little deep, and then you just sit there and go, lads, would anyone talk about this in a bar? No. Rip the idea up? Yeah. Carry on.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I
if it
think
doesn't
it's
work,
good.
it doesn't work. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like we just kind of just
good.
do whatever hits us.
And a lot of
in
it's fueled by the fans. I mean, we take from the gallery. There's a
Yeah.
big section where people send in hypotheticals, and those hypotheticals led to Dave Portnoy trying to win the U.S. Open with
Unlimited
unlimited
mulligans.
mulligans.
I have one for you that we just brought up. Do you think, because you would obviously beat him, let's say like me or Trent, just like an average high 80s, low 90s golfer, would you think that Francis we met with his equipment at the country club could beat Trent, or we could beat Francis we met at the country club with our stealth equipment? Now we have all the new balls, TP5X.
How good is
he
this?
has to use?
How good is
No
Francis?
shot. Francis, we met would win.
Back with his stuff.
No,
If
we're talking the fucking clubs that he used in
1913,
1913
when he won the US
with
Open
his
as an
ball.
amateur.
Okay. Could you boys beat him bettable?
Yeah. It took me a while to get to that question. My brain's not working.
Oh, hold on. Oh, the two of you
No,
together.
No. Just us. Just my
Individually.
game. Like, would my maybe 90 on a golf course beat his? Because I don't know that he can fucking break 90.
Think about him playing the
Think
country
about how
club in
hard that golf
2022.
course is to him now.
Greens are different. Everything's different. Everything's fast.
Right, we were saying if you went to the U.S. Open on the first tee and you're playing Francis we met, he's playing exactly as he played back then. He has the same equipment, everything. And you have everything you have now.
I think he wins.
Yeah, I think he probably does, too.
He's a legend, no? I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I think
But
he
has
definitely
equipment
beats you,
has
Trent.
equipment gone so far and advanced so much that even the shittiest of golfers.
Here's where I'm going with this. So I was a member at Hoylake as a kid. Hoylake's a beautiful golf course on the open roster. Eventually, as a kid, I got in there. And like my lowest round there was maybe 1, 2 under, maybe 3. But you start to look at the course records and you start to look at the scores there from years ago. You suck. You know what I mean? Meaning I suck.
Yeah.
If these boys are using Bellatas and Persimmon and whatever's getting round there, they're legit.
Yeah.
They are legit.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I guess my question would be like, does the distance factor in? Did they stretch the course out enough that like now
Yeah,
you
maybe,
really
but
have
then he's going to get up and down like a legend, isn't he?
right? So that's I think if you
But he's also playing
if
on,
you
like-
went to his distance,
But
whatever
weren't they
he
on like
played
4
from,
green?
you'd
Like weren't
lose.
there
So I think
greens like
stretch
running?
it back.
I think
Yeah.
to the point though, like Aaron Rodgers and those boys hit 3 or 4 shots and they,
They
figure
figure
it
it
out.
out.
This guy's going to go on the first green. He's going to be like, "Wow, these are quick." All of a sudden, second green in.
Okay.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He can adapt.
Yeah, I
Also
was
think, like, it's
I was
not
firmly on the side that he would beat me.
Yeah.
I had a chat once with Tom. So Tom Watson was involved with Adams, and TaylorMade and Adams came in. I remember being with Tom Watson, and I was like his guy.
Missouri guy.
We were watching McIlroy hit balls, and we were talking about speed, and McIlroy was big for speed at the time. And Watson was like, I swing it like that, but with persimmon. As if to say, like, it's nothing. I had all that speed. I don't know if you did or you didn't, but at the time I'm thinking, wow, as I'm watching Rory, who's quick.
Right.
And
Those
I'm
ballsy at Watson to say
And I'm
that.
like, I know Watson is a legend, but you think you had that speed with a steel shaft and persimmon. You know, and you don't say anything. You go, yeah, Tom. Yeah, of course you do. Yeah.
You're the best, Tom. Yeah.
Say it now. Nobody's listening.
But I'm like, Jesus. I mean, that's a big call.
That's a big call.
But, you know, I mean, the guy is an out-and-out competitor, even at that. But then he was like 69 or something, and you could see he was like...
That's the other thing. Maybe that level of player, level of skill doesn't give an inch no matter who it is.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's like
15 miles an hour off, but he's saying he was
right.
right
I'm
there.
not losing. You know what I mean?
It
It's just like that
like not even
mentality. Of
close.
just like no
Yeah.
shot. I don't lose.
He's
Yeah.
one of the greatest players.
Guy
in
almost
all
won the Open
Which
in
is fair.
2009.
Right.
Right.
59.
He's
59 years
unreal,
old.
yeah. No, he's unreal. Like doing stuff with him, what a competitor. Like loosens up, first club he loosens up with, even after like flying, we were talking about Australia and how long it takes to get there. He gets to the Aussie Open, I'm working the event, bowls on the range, looking like you right now, jet lagged to hell, no coffee in him, grabs the 3-iron, 3-iron.
3-iron?
I'm like, what are you doing, buddy? He's like, well, if I can hit the 3-iron, I can hit anything. I'm just like, Jesus.
That's just the confidence I don't have.
Yeah.
Older than time. And he's standing there hitting the 3-iron. I mean, that's where we got to get to, boys. We're all going to get out in that range and start
gotta go.
striking
We gotta
down
do it.
irons.
Yeah.
We're here at
I
Scotland.
think after all this, we've been going back and forth. I want to play.
I
nine.
can't wait to play.
Yeah, I want to play.
I'm
nine.
reinvigorated to play a
I'm
little
gonna
golf.
rip.
Do you
the
watch?
gotta get your golf
Do you watch Peaky Blinders?
Yeah. Accents are horrific.
Okay.
The first episode of that, I had to watch 3 or 4 times before I got going.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like, I'm struggling with this. Like, accents are shocking. There's horses in the street. What the fuck is this? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, now I'm with it.
So you like it though? You like the way they
I
did
watched
it?
it, and then of course my missus does the usual thing. You're trying to watch it, and then one night you got to work, or one night you're gonna do something, and she's gone and snuck in 3 episodes without you. This game over.
Yeah.
It's done.
You can't catch up.
And nah, you're done. You could watch TV for the rest of your life and not catch them up in that stage.
Well, you said Birmingham before, and I haven't
Yeah,
stopped
I
thinking.
stayed in a hotel that was looking over the canals where Peaky Blinders.
Really?
It's a really nice area now. Yeah, they talk about the bull ring and the mailbox. Well, not the mailbox, but the bull ring. And
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders. I stayed in the bull ring.
Holy shit! Wow, that's pretty interesting.
That is it.
I love that shit.
There's no Peaky Blinders kicking around.
No. So we're about to go play our first Scottish course. Well, my first Scottish course. Yours. You
Yep.
guys have played out here, and we talked a little bit about it. We can make it brief. What do we need to do to have our game translate here differently than what I do on Long Island?
Hit the yardage to the front of the green. That's what you take for starts, just to get a feel. This track isn't as old as some of the others, so it won't be as bouncy. And I always like to play with the wind. You were talking earlier, we were looking at the first, winds off the left, and you're like, I'm going to cut one down the right, and I'm stood there thinking, what?
Dreamer.
Yeah, you're cutting one into the wind.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. Ride the
I'm
wind.
thinking it's just gonna straighten it out. It's gonna go right down the middle.
Just ride the wind.
He actually has been playing well enough where that makes sense. Recently.
Okay, no,
And
I
what
love
got me
totally.
then, though, there's this bush out there at like
Yeah.
220, not even in play. He's like, oh, I just need to miss that bush. And I'm thinking, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Half of Scotland. You could line all the sheep in Scotland down the right of that bush, and
6.5
he's going to
million.
hit one at the freaking bush with a fade in the bush.
Just gonna miss that one bush at 220.
We all know that
Not even in
ball.
play.
That ball's going in the bush.
Yeah.
I hope to God it goes in the bush.
Let's go fucking.
Let's go
some
play golf.
I would love
Let's
to.
do it.
Trotty Golf. Check him out on Instagram. If
Can
you
we
haven't
have him
already.
back on the pod like throughout the trip?
Why not?
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd love
you're
to
gonna be
come
here,
back.
right?
Yeah.
I'd love to come back.
Yeah,
They
you're-
said to me, I'm going to be here the whole time.
Oh, fuck.
Like, you're going to be on the pod. I said, I'm only coming
Oh,
on if
game
I'm welcome.
reviews,
I don't
too,
want to
would
be
be
on
awesome.
too
You
much.
are more
He'll
than
chirp
welcome.
us the
Oh,
whole
so as you watch us play,
Right.
you watch us play.
I hope the whole trip passes over a little bit. I get to see the bush
Yes.
hitting and everything.
Yes.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's
You are
roll.
welcome anytime. It's going to
Thanks,
be great.
boys.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, me
Come
too.
on.
That's very exciting.
Thank you, Trotty.
Cheers, boys. Thank you, and keep
Cheers.
doing what you're doing.
Thank you.